Hey everyone, so we are getting to the steps in all of our projects where we're starting to get ready to paint. Either for some of us, we are already kind of working on a primer. I think a decent number of you are starting to put in the kind of white primer that we'll kind of use to cover up in those kind of underlying wood colors or anything else to make it like a nice even shade. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put another layer on top of that. That's where we're actually going to get our colors. So as we start to do that, we need to think about like what kind of colors am I going to paint specifically? Like what am I going to do? I'm going to cover everything in white paint to begin with, but what am I going to paint on the inside of this? And I'm just going to use this one group as an example. You know, how are we going to paint this versus the outside? Versus the outside over here, versus maybe, and I'll just popping over a different group, versus the outside, versus the kind of door or the door frame. So like what colors are gonna go everywhere? And that's, by the end of the day today, I want you to have a really firm plan for what colors are going to go where. And I wanna see some sort of evidence of like a picture or a drawing that's going to show what colors are gonna go where. Now the tricky part is that we are going to, instead of buying a million different colors of individual cans of paint that'll get used once and then never get used again, I instead bought the primary colors, and I did go with red, green, and yellow, as you guys pointed out to me. So thankfully, it should be well, I don't know. I think in computer science it should be red, green, and blue. I'm not sure what it is in art class, but I'll get the additional color in here. I think we probably need a blue in there, maybe. Anyways, I'll get a blue paint can for when we get started. So what we're going to do is use that paint in order to mix those together in different proportions in order to produce other colors. So that's kind of what we're working on today, is you need to plan out like what portions of red, green, yellow, or whatever three or four you're going to mix, what are you going to put those together, and what proportions are you going to put those together to get your paint. And to help us with that, I'm going to show you a little bit of software, and I'll include a link to this. So there are a number of different options that you could use for this. This is like a pretty common tool that painters will use to kind of get the right color, pick the right color. I think there's a bunch of websites out here. I'm gonna give you the link for this one, Combine Colors. And basically you start with this and you can select your three primary colors that you're going to use. So I think in this case, it might start with just yellow and blue, and then I added in red here. And basically all you're gonna do is kind of mess around with these dials. So this is saying that it's gonna be 5 parts blue to 5 parts red to 3 parts blue, and we could add in kind of shades of yellow in there as well, maybe reduce the red to kind of get the color that we want. There are other things that you can explore in here as far as like finding the right color, or I think, you know, you can collaborate with your peers to kind of figure out what kind of color you want to have in here. If you mix all 3 colors in equal proportions, you should get brown. So maybe for some of you, if you want that kind of earthy tone, you might want to choose like a mix of all 3 colors. And so this is going to be a process of trying to decide, okay, I want to do brown on this part of my roof. Okay, in order to do that, I'm going to need to mix together an even amount of my 3 colors, my blue, my red, and my yellow. I'm going to mix those together in even proportions, and I'm going to paint it like this. So that's the kind of plan that I want you to have. For the roof, for my roof, I'm going to make this brown. I'm going to create the color brown by mixing even proportions of this, this, and this. For this side, I want to do it with red. And so you can just use the paint can of red. Be creative about your color choices. Try and at least include one example of where you're mixing these colors together. But think through a plan, and so that way when you come back on Tuesday, we'll be able to really kind of start painting for those of you who are ready to start painting. And we'll have a plan in mind, so we won't have to waste our limited amount of class time making a plan for mixing our paint. I hope that's clear enough. I'm going to include some other documents in the when I send out, you'll be reading the email. I'll include some extra documents in there to help you out. But to be clear, what I want at the end of this is a design. I want to have a clear, identified, like this color goes here, this color goes here. Have a plan for what colors are going to go where, and how you're going to make those colors. Okay. All right. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that you're able to be productive and be ready for Tuesday, where we can try and finish up these projects. Well, kind of get ready maybe over the next week to finish up these projects. Hope that helps, and I'll see you soon.